All right, let's take a look at something called arrays. And what an array is it's a whole string of information, so different information. So you can have an array of choices. So if you have, say, a variable of dessert, you can have cookies, ice cream, cake, just an array. And like, let's say that you have a hard time deciding what you want for dessert, and you load an app on your phone, press a button, and it tells you cookies. So it makes the decision for you at random. Now, the randomness isn't necessarily part of an array, it's just what is like the list that is selected from. So let's go ahead and get started. So you want to start with your script tag, and you don't have to do anything fancy. So go ahead and start like a new. I wouldn't call it array. Honestly, I would just call it random because you're going to do another assignment that's going to lead into this. So I just named this array for this lesson here, but if you want to name it, start a new project and name it random, this lesson and another lesson are going to go together, and then you'll do a project. So first up, you have to define your array. So let's do let Marvel, and I'll do Marvel characters. And make sure you do not the curly bracket, but the stiff bracket. And since these are strings, you need the quotes. So we'll do Hulk, comma, let's do Cap for Captain America. I'm just going to do Cap. And who else? We have Thor. And let's do Spidey. And then do a hard bracket right there. And then make sure you end with a semicolon. So this is an array. These are your choices of Marvel characters, okay? And you'll see that the arrangement sort of looks the same. Now I'm using let. So again, you have 3 different ways to declare a variable. You have var, which is the old way, and then you have let, and you have const. And for our purposes now, you can use these 3 interchangeably. So I mean, if I wanted to change let to var, it's not going to destroy anything. These have different uses that we could get into that down the road. Now the next part, we have to select from an array. So I need to name another variable, so I'll just do var, and I'll do hero, and I'll do equals, and we're choosing from this list, so I'm going to do Marvel, and I'm going to choose the first one. Now you'll see what happens when I choose the first one. So do a hard bracket and hard bracket like that, and we'll do a document write, and we'll write hero. Oops, I need to get rid of that comment there. So go ahead and get rid of that and reload. And I get cap, but this is weird. I put number 1 and I should get Hulk. Well, in JavaScript, 0 comes before 1. So this would be the 0, 1, 2, 3. It's a little counterintuitive, but if you want the first selection here, you got to choose 0. So 1 is actually in visually second space. So you got to put 0 if you want Hulk. Reload and you get Hulk. And then what do you get if you get 3? You should get Spidey. There you go. What happens if you get 4? Let me click in there. Let's see. Undefined, okay, because there is nothing in position 4. So if you get an undefined, that means you probably, and I mean, just think of it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4 across. Hulk, Cap, Thor, Spidey. There's four. But if you have a number greater than what you have stored here, or equal to what you have stored here, you're going to get an undefined. So if you wanted to add another, let's see, we could do Black Widow. And let's see what we get. And we get Black Widow. So you can store full sentences, I mean, full strings and all that stuff in there. And there's other sort of stuff you can do with strings. So, like, I've had to get car parts at AutoZone, and they ask you for your type of car, and it's a Toyota. And what happens in the computer is when they select Toyota, it then goes to the database and it selects the array of choices for a Toyota. So if I say I have a Toyota and then Tacoma, well, there's a whole array of choices and models for a Tacoma. So it's kind of like narrowing down a list through selecting different choices. And that's just basically what an array does. So what they do is they just link together a ton of arrays. So we'll go into what's called Booleans. So if Toyota, then display this array. And then if choose from this array, display this array. It's just kind of like this domino sort of cascade. Anyways, that's a pretty quick little lesson on arrays. And stay tuned for more.